I got a special guest, actually, that's on the line with me right now. Is with the Hamilton Thunderbirds, the new field manager, Matt Fortuna. How you doing, Matt?
Doing all right, Greg. How are you?
Good. It was supposed to be a bit of a surprise for today, but we had your brother Mike on the show last week, and he kind of spilled the beans. I don't know if you want to punish him for that already, or...
Mike's never been good at keeping secrets. He's terrible like that.
Maybe the first week of camp there, you might have to make him do some laps or something.
Oh, don't worry. He'll get his.
Well, what's that situation going to be like? You're the new field manager for the Thunderbirds, and now you have to work with your own brother on the team as one of the pitchers. How's your working relationship going to go?
Oh, it won't be difficult. I had I don't want to say honor or privilege, but I got to coach Mike when he was a high school student. So I coached him in high school. So it's nothing new. It's just we're a little older now.
Oh, so it's not even a new situation for you guys. It's already been done.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about this new position for you. When did the team really come up to you and say, give you the reins of this team? When did that really happen?
Well, a couple of years ago, Larry and I had some preliminary discussions about maybe possibly one day taking over as manager of the team. And at that point, I wasn't really ready, but it was something that I had been thinking about for some time. Mm-hmm. And after last season, we were in some discussion, and Larry came up to me in the off season, probably about January-ish, and asked me for sure what I would be thinking. And I said, yeah, I'll do it. It was something I eagerly wanted to do, so probably January.
And you're not going to be a player manager. You're hanging up the cleats.
Well, some would debate whether or not I had hung them up a while ago based on how I played, Craig.
Was it tough to officially give up the sport that you love to play, or was it an easy decision for you?
No, I think it was a pretty natural decision. It had been brewing for some time, like I said, and once you would start thinking like a coach, and that was probably about 5-6 years ago, you start thinking along with a coach, and once you start doing that, it's time to play. And a friend of mine, Sean Riley, who played for Guelph, he actually said to me one day, he said, how does it feel to know that you're never going to hit another home run in your life? And that was kind of a cue to hang him up.
That's kind of cruel trash talking there. I don't know if I'd call him one of your friends. But
Oh, that's Sean. Sean's ridiculed me for years, but I guess he has the right, and he's like third all-time in inter-county home runs. So.
I guess it's that the catcher's mentality for you. When you see all these ex-catchers go on to become pro managers, and I guess now even at the IBL level, you got the ex-catchers becoming the managers.
I guess that's the way to go. They've always said it's because we see everything and we have to know everything that goes on, but I'm sure there's some great shortstops and pitchers that make great managers. Just it happens that more of us catchers seem to be in tune with everything that goes on in the game. Kind
of like the hockey comparison. All the analysts and stuff on TV are all ex-goaltenders. What's their comparison with catching and playing goaltender in hockey?
Oh, I guess, yeah. Based on our position, we see everything that develops, right? So I guess we have a clear view of what goes on.
Well, let's talk about the future of the Hamilton Thunderbirds. Does the team? I guess you don't really know the makeup of the team yet. You haven't really started to get into that process yet. But how does the future look for this team that you're going to be having the control over for the next little while?
Oh, I think the future looks bright. I mean, that's not just a cliche. A lot of our talented young players, they're 20 years old, 19 years old, and they're kids that have been in the league. Some of them for 3 years now. So. Mm-hmm. You hope that they have some natural progression and they become stars in the league one day. So if we can get those guys to kind of just develop at a natural rate, I think everything should be fine. We're in a difficult spot too, Greg, because we do have to rely on a lot of the younger players. Ideally, I mean, we would be able to fill our lineup with former minor leaguers and IBL veterans that have had some success over years and former MVPs, but unfortunately that's not always the case. So we do have to build through the ranks and use Hamilton system and other feeder systems to kind of stock our team.
Talking with Matt Fortuna, the new field manager of the Hamilton Thunderbirds. We'll have all the Hamilton Thunderbirds Friday night and Sunday afternoon home games this year on INDI 101. We're back on the air, so it's exciting to have the game broadcast. I guess you're one of the few IBL teams in the league to actually have the games broadcast on the air. Is that exciting for the players at all to know that the media attention is actually a little bit a step up from maybe the other teams in the IBL?
I think so. The guys don't get too wrapped up in it, but it is nice to know that people are actually caring. And when you do interviews, I mean, you hosted some shows last year when guys did some pregame and postgame stuff with you, and guys get excited for things like that. It's a little taste of being a pro.
Maybe Mike a little more so than the other guys, but
Mike, I don't know. Mike's big league. At least thinks he is.
All right, I guess we're just taking shots at Mike now. It's is he listening in right now? Or?
Oh, probably. I'm sure I'm going to get a text in a couple seconds.
When does the official camp actually get started? When do you guys start the process of getting things going this year?
Indoor workouts are going to commence probably in the middle of March, from everything that I've been told, and hopefully if the weather cooperates, we'll be outside in April. But like I said, we got a lot of guys who are off at school, so they've already started with their training. I mean, Ryan Vance Bronson, our top starter from last year, he's down in school. He's getting ready. Darnell Duckett's getting ready. Graham Carey's in BC with the UBC Thunderbirds. So their seasons have already begun. And a lot of the guys that are around here, they've already started throwing. And
do you expect a lot of guys returning from last year's team?
As far as I know, I mean, Larry and our new director of player development, Dalton Duckett, they've been working kind of in that area. They'll bounce a couple ideas off me here and there, but that's ultimately their decision who comes back.
Well, it's a good start for the year for the Thunderbirds, I guess. Last year it wasn't a disappointing season. You just snuck in that last playoff spot. It was an exciting race to the finish there. You beat Ottawa for that last playoff spot. But now there's no Guelph in the league. We're back down to 8 teams in the league. So is there any word from the league on how things are going to shape up for the playoffs and who makes it in?
You know, I haven't been told anything yet about the playoff situation. Unfortunately, Guelph is folding or has suspended operations for this year, which was sad to see. I mean, I played for Guelph for 5 years. A lot of my best friends in the league are from Guelph, and who knows what's going to happen with them. But I honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen with the playoffs. I know last year, like you said, you used the word disappointing to an extent, and it was good that we made the playoffs, but if you look back at our team, we lost 11 games by 2 runs or less.
Right.
And that was the disappointing part, in games that we had chances to win, and hopefully we can turn, 7 of those into wins. It would have been a completely different season. Who knows what the team morale would have been like or what the playoff placement would have been, but we could have avoided Brantford in the first round. That always would have been a good thing. Yeah,
that was always the big story. It's you guys finally, I think, won a 1-run game, and it was confetti was going off in the media box because it was finally nice to see you guys on the winning side of a close ball game. You guys were right in there for the whole time, so maybe you just need that little extra something. That maybe it's the managing you guys need, a little extra something from the managing side that'll put you over the top this year.
No, I don't know about that. The players have to play the games, right?
Well, yeah, that's right. I guess this is your first year managing in the IBL. So, do you have any kind of specific changes for the team, or any kind of mentality going into this year that you want to switch things up from last year?
One thing I'd like to do. I mean, there are times when we were a little disorganized, just in terms of our pregame operation and things like that. So, if we can get some sort of order and consistency in the way we deal with things on a regular basis, and even though we may not have the professional resumes of some of the other teams, we have to act that way. We can't go in thinking that we're inferior in any other way. We have to try to emulate them in those instances. And remember, we're all playing in the same league. So hopefully we can keep that in mind as we prepare.
I guess with the younger guys, too, it's a little easier to shape them and tell them what to do. If it was a bunch of 35-year-old guys on your team, you'd have a little more trouble telling them what to do and how to act, right?
Yeah, hopefully, but it's a delicate balance with the young guys, because they come back from, a lot of them, from the university setting, and the university setting where their coaches have complete autonomy, and in some instances run it like a military academy. And you don't really want that too. You want to have them given a little bit of lenience in how they prepare.
Talking with Matt Fortuna, new field manager at Hamilton Thunderbirds, and do you look to any managers maybe in the big leagues, or any influences you have, maybe coaches you've had, in terms of adding it into your managing style?
Well, every coach that I've played for, you take a little bit of something, right? Be it a good thing or a bad thing, like something you want to emulate that they do, and other things that need areas of improvement. I've had the honor of playing for a lot of guys, but I've also had the honor of working with some guys, not necessarily as manager coach, but as an instructor. I worked with the great Jim Ridley, and Jim managing the Inter-County. He was a scout with the Jays and Twins for many years, and coached Team Canada. And if you just sit down and get to talk with Jim about anything, that definitely shapes the way you think about the game. And one of my best friends, Schroeder Nichols, he's been in the IBL forever, and he's done some work, and he and I talk baseball all the time. So you take some of the things that obviously they're trying to impart on you, and you apply it to your own style. And I mean, it's difficult trying to emulate any manager. You just want to be yourself, but you're always taking things as you watch them. Like Joe Torre, the way he handled his players is just outstanding, and the way he dealt with the media. Not that I'll have that same media scrutiny like he did in New York, but
Oh, come on, it's gonna be close. Indy's gonna be all over.
Well,
all
thanks,
over.
Greg. Thanks.
Are you gonna be the type of manager with like the quick hook, or are you gonna be a little more lenient with the younger guys?
Well, it's tough to say. It depends on the way our team's comprised, and the way I think of things. You don't want to get what's the word I'm looking for. You don't want to gas guys too early. But then again, a lot of them, if they've been playing in a college season, they've already accumulated 60, 65 innings. You don't want to run them out there for another 65 and then just have them absolutely spent by the end of the year. So you have to use some sort of discretion as it goes along. Later in the year, obviously, you're going to stretch them out when the games become a little tighter. But we've got an excellent bullpen. It's pretty deep this year. The back end of the bullpen with Nino Fasulo.
Right. He was
I guess
lights out last year.
I'll say a nice thing about my brother this time, but having those two guys at the back end of the bullpen does help out a lot.
Yeah, they're probably the guys with a lot of experience compared to some of the younger guys, so it's good to have that in the back of the bullpen for sure to help you out as a manager.
Oh, definitely. Experience is nice, but talent trumps all, right? So if we have some very, very talented younger guys, then obviously they're going to get their work too.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. You're actually on Twitter, so fans, if they want to hear all about the Thunderbirds and your thoughts, can check you out on Twitter. What's your handle on there?
Oh, Twitter. It's mfortuna25. Okay. I keep it simple. I don't tweet too much, Greg.
No, you don't. Your brother tweets a little bit more. Mike does.
He's a mouthpiece, so.
He likes to chirp everyone on Twitter.
Indeed, I'm a little classier.
Well, keep staying classy, and we'll talk to you numerous times probably throughout this year as we have the games all here on Indy 101 throughout the baseball season. Hamilton Thunderbirds on the IBL. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for having me, Greg. Take care.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
So good luck to Matt Fortuna, the new field manager of the Hamilton Thunderbirds. And like I said, all the games are excited to have the Thunderbirds back on the air here on Indy 101. So make sure you tune in this year for Hamilton Thunderbirds baseball all throughout the summer. I'll be there. Kyle Smith will be there for the most part. So it's going to be fun times and lots of interviews like that with guys like Mike and Matt Fortuna and players on the Hamilton Thunderbirds.